So what's happening at OpenAI and what could be the future for one of the most important names in the AI space? Welcome to Source, that's the name of the podcast because I'm also a creative, and today we take a look at the latest news on OpenAI. I don't think I need to explain what OpenAI is, but I think in order to understand the latest developments, it's better to recap at least three things. First, that OpenAI is run by a non-profit organization, which is OpenAI itself, that owns the for-profit subsidiary, which is owned at 49% by Microsoft and then other stakeholders. But the owner is still a non-profit organization, and that's important. Second, that last year there was a plan, a coup, to take out Sam Altman, the CEO of the company. He was the CEO, he still is, but for a brief moment he was not, because there was this attempt to take him out. Then the coup failed. One of the people behind this attempt was Ilya Sutskever, one of the founders of OpenAI and a great scientist in the AI field. And this year, some months ago, Ilya Sutskever resigned from OpenAI. And third, that some weeks ago, OpenAI released their latest model, which is their first model with what they call reasoning abilities. And to give you more context, I'm reading an article on The Verge. The date is September 12. OpenAI is releasing a new model called O1, the first in a planned series of reasoning models that have been trained to answer more complex questions faster than a human can. And this is in fact the extremely hyped Strawberry model. There were rumors about this exceptional model called Strawberry. For OpenAI, O1 represents a step towards its broader goal of human-like artificial intelligence, the so-called AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. More practically, it does a better job at writing code and solving multi-step problems than previous models, but it's also more expensive and slower to use than GPT-4o. OpenAI is calling this release of O1 a preview to emphasize how nascent it is. But this model is a big deal. I also read an opinion on the MIT Technology Review by James O'Donnell, and he wrote, unlike previous models that are well suited for language tasks like writing and editing, OpenAI O1 is focused on multi-step reasoning, the type of process required for advanced mathematics, coding, or other STEM-based questions. It uses a chain of thought technique, according to OpenAI. It learns to recognize and correct its mistakes. It learns to break down tricky steps into simpler ones. It learns to try a different approach when the current one isn't working. That's what the company wrote on a blog post. So the model would be among the top 500 high school students in the USA Math Olympiad, which covers geometry, number theory, and other math topics. So why does this matter? The bulk of LLM, which are the models that process natural language, so the bulk of LLM progress until now has been language-driven, resulting in chatbots or voice assistants that can interpret, analyze, and generate words. But in addition to getting lots of facts wrong, such LLMs have failed to demonstrate the types of skills required to solve important problems in fields like drug discovery, material science, coding, or physics. OpenAI's O1 is one of the first signs that LLMs might soon become genuinely helpful companions to human researchers in these fields. So it's a big deal because it brings chain of thought reasoning in an AI model to a mass audience. That's what Matt Welch is saying, and he's an AI researcher and founder of the LLM startup Fixie. So apparently they launched this model, opened it to the public, which is apparently more capable than the GPT-4o model in solving mathematical problems or coding problems, but it's also worse than GPT-4o in other issues. And to better understand the protagonist of our story, which is Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, some days ago, September 23, he wrote a post on his blog called The Intelligence Age, and I want to read something from it. It starts like this. In the next couple of decades, we will be able to do things that would have seemed like magic to our grandparents. This phenomenon is not new, but it will be newly accelerated. Obviously, he's talking about AI. I'll be honest, that's not the best intro that I've ever read. But here's the best part. It is possible that we will have super intelligence in a few thousand days. It may take longer, but I'm confident we'll get there. How did we get to the doorstep of the next leap in prosperity? In 3 words, deep learning worked. Doesn't stop here. Technology brought us from the Stone Age to the agricultural age and then to the industrial age. From here, the path to the intelligence age, is paved with compute, energy and human will. I believe the future is going to be so bright that no one can do it justice by trying to write about it now. A defining characteristic of the intelligence age will be massive prosperity. Massive prosperity. Although it will happen incrementally, astounding triumphs, fixing the climate, establishing a space colony and the discovery of all physics will eventually become commonplace. So I'm repeating what will become commonplace in the next few years. Fixing the climate, establishing a space colony and the discovery of all physics. Okay? And I'm finishing with nearly limitless intelligence and abundant energy, the ability to generate great ideas and the ability to make them happen. We can do quite a lot. So that's Sam Altman's thoughts, the same Sam Altman's that was called a podcasting bro by senior TSMC chiefs. I'm reading an article by Tom's Hardware and it says, last winter, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman took a whirlwind tour of the Far East, meeting high-powered execs from companies like TSMC, Samsung and SK Hynix. These are companies that make chips, okay, microchips. Apparently, he didn't make the best first impression. According to a report in the New York Times, senior TSMC execs dubbed the OpenAI chief a podcasting bro after the meetings, following his absurd request for 36 new chip-making plants that would cost an astounding $7 trillion. So that's the man, and here's the news that I'm reading from Reuters, exclusive. OpenAI to remove non-profit control and give Sam Altman equity. This is dated September 25, so a few days ago. ChatGPT maker OpenAI is working on a plan to restructure its core business into a for-profit benefit corporation that will no longer be controlled by its non-profit board. People familiar with the matter told Reuters, in a move that will make the company more attractive to investors. The OpenAI non-profit will continue to exist and own a minority stake in the for-profit company, the sources said. Chief Executive Sam Altman will also receive equity for the first time in the for-profit company, which could be worth $150 billion after the restructuring, as he also tries to remove the cap on returns for investors. The sources requested anonymity. The details of the proposed corporate structure, first reported by Reuters, highlight significant governance changes happening behind the scenes at one of the most important AI companies. The plan is still being hashed out with lawyers and stakeholders, and the timeline for completing the restructuring remains uncertain, the sources said. So that's the big news, the unconfirmed big news, that OpenAI is restructuring into a for-profit company, giving basically Sam Altman more control and more money. But that's not the only big news. And now I'm reading The Verge. OpenAI CTO Mira Murati is leaving. OpenAI CTO Mira Murati is leaving the company. And that's a quote from her Twitter. I'm stepping away because I want to create the time and space to do my own exploration. For now, my primary focus is doing everything in my power to ensure a smooth transition, maintaining the momentum we've built. And in addition to Murati, 2 other OpenAI leaders are also departing. Bob McGrew, OpenAI's Chief Research Officer, and Barrett Zoff, VP of Post-Training, so 3 big execs. CEO Sam Altman said that they made these decisions independently of each other and amicably. In a separate note to employees is also posted on Twitter. And apparently, and he added also that these decisions are not related to the rumored shift in the OpenAI structure. Altman also wrote, "Leadership changes are a natural part of companies, especially companies that grow so quickly and are so demanding." And of course, Mira Murati played a big role in OpenAI in the last few years. She was the CTO, she was the leader in projects like ChatGPT and DALL-E, and you may remember her from the demo of GPT-4o a few months ago, when she was speaking Italian just to show translation capabilities of the new model.
Mark, io mi chiedo, se le balene potessero parlare, cosa ci direbbero?
So Murati is leaving the company. Sam Altman denies the link to the restructuring plans, and by the way, he denied it while he was in Turin for the Italian Tech Week. He said, and I'm quoting, "That's totally not true." And as I said, for her part, Murati said her decision to leave was driven by a desire to create the time and space to do my own exploration, without adding further details. And for the other two top execs leaving, McGrew stated in a post on Twitter, "It is time for me to take a break. There is no better capstone to my work here than shipping O1 to the world." And Zoff, the third one leaving, Zoff tweeted, "Right now feels like a natural point for me to explore new opportunities outside of OpenAI. This is a personal decision based on how I want to evolve the next phase of my career." And also the Ars Technical article continues with other reflections. With Murati and others' exit, Altman remains one of the few long-standing senior leaders of OpenAI, which has seen significant shuffling in its upper ranks recently. In May 2024, former chief scientist Ilya Sutskever left to form his own company, Safe Superintelligence, focused on building AI systems that far surpass humans in logical capabilities. John Schulman, an OpenAI co-founder, departed early in 2024 to join rival AI firm Anthropic, and in August, OpenAI president Greg Brockman announced that he will be taking a temporary sabbatical until the end of the year. The leadership shuffles have raised questions among critics about the internal dynamics at OpenAI under Altman and the state of OpenAI's future research path, which has been aiming toward creating artificial general intelligence, AGI, an hypothetical technology that could potentially perform human-level intellectual work. Murati's departure leaves questions about who will step into her role, but it already appears some of her responsibilities may be split into multiple new roles. In a second announcement posted later on Wednesday, Altman wrote that Mark Chen will become SVP of Research and Josh Achiam will become Head of Mission Alignment, with no news of who will be the new CTO. For now, it appears OpenAI is poised to adopt a corporate structure that seems to be slowly consolidating more power directly under Altman. In his announcement, Altman said that Chen and Achiam, along with other members of technical staff, will now report directly to him. And here's another interesting article on The Register about this. James Wong, I'm reading from The Register, James Wong, Gartner analyst, told The Register, "It's clear with the departures of the co-founders and high-profile engineering leaders that OpenAI is being remade with Sam's vision. His manifesto and the shift to a for-profit entity also reinforces his vision for the business. This could have significant impact on OpenAI's partnership with Microsoft, which clearly stated they view OpenAI as a competitor. Microsoft has already started to downplay the importance of OpenAI models in their overall AI strategy." And also, AI expert Dr. Gary Marcus described the events at OpenAI as a slow-motion train wreck. Marcus wrote, "GPT-5 hasn't dropped. Sora hasn't shipped." Sora is the model that generates video, okay? So Sora hasn't shipped officially to the public. The company had an operating loss of $5 billion last year, and there is no obvious moat. Meta is giving away similar software for free, and many lawsuits pending. Yet people are valuing this company at $150 billion. Absolutely insane. Investors shouldn't be pouring more money at higher valuations. They should be asking what is going on. And to finish and to give you everything in this context, I will now read an article on The Guardian, which is titled "OpenAI Shift to For-Profit Company May Lead to Cut Corners." OpenAI's plan to become a for-profit company could encourage the artificial intelligence startup to cut corners on safety, a whistleblower has said. William Saunders, a former research engineer at OpenAI, told The Guardian he was concerned by the news that we reported. Saunders, who flagged these concerns in testimony to the US Senate this month, said he was also concerned by reports that OpenAI chief executive Sam Altman could hold a stake in the restructuring business. "I'm most concerned about what this means for governance of safety decisions at OpenAI," he said. "If the non-profit board is no longer in control of these decisions and Sam Altman holds a significant equity stake, this creates more incentive to raise and cut corners." Saunders said in a written testimony to the Senate that he left the company because he lost faith that OpenAI would make responsible decisions about AGI. He said, "OpenAI was supposed to only allow limited profit for investors and employees and give the rest for the non-profit. Then if OpenAI made AI technology that caused large-scale unemployment, they wouldn't be just pocketing the profits themselves and would give back to society. Switching to a for-profit suggests this is no longer a priority." So the conclusion to this story, and also my humble opinion, is well summarized by this article on The Verge. OpenAI was a research lab, now it's just another tech company. And I'm reading something from this article as a conclusion. Turning the research lab into a for-profit company puts many of its long-term employees in an awkward spot. Many likely joined to focus on AI research, not to build and sell products. And while OpenAI is still a non-profit, it's not hard to guess how a profit-focused version would work. Research labs work on longer timelines than companies chasing revenue. They can delay product releases when necessary, with less pressure to launch quickly and scale up. Perhaps most importantly, they can be more conservative about safety. There's already evidence OpenAI is focusing on fast launches over cautious ones. A source told the Washington Post in July that the company threw a launch party for GPT-4o prior to knowing if it was safe to launch. And the Wall Street Journal reported on Friday that the safety staffer worked 20-hour days and didn't have time to double-check their work. Testers lately identified a safety issue in GPT-4o and were frustrated to have not been given enough time before launch to find and fix it. Meanwhile, OpenAI researchers are continuing to work on building what they consider to be the next steps toward human-level artificial intelligence. O1, OpenAI's first reasoning model, is the beginning of a new series that the company hopes will power intelligent automated agents. The company is consistently rolling out features just ahead of competitors. This week it launched advanced voice mode for all users just days before Meta announced a similar product at Connect. So what is OpenAI becoming? All signs point to a conventional tech company under the control of one powerful executive, exactly the structure it was built to avoid. So this, I think, is the best conclusion that I can give you for the news that we know now. We will continue to follow this news, this topic, because OpenAI, of course, is one of the most important technology companies in the world. And it's also so influential that knowing that most of its powers will be concentrated in the hands of Sam Altman, maybe it's not the best news. But again, we will follow this topic in future videos. So for now, thank you for watching. Really thank you for watching and for all the feedbacks that you gave me in the first English videos, in the first videos of this new chapter of my YouTube career. I think I'm starting to be a little proud of this project. So again, thank you, and we will see on the next one.